Y'all know what time it is. Back again. Bigger play where the rubber meets the road, and we get straight to it.
For somebody like me who's never been married and is child free, what are you gonna do? Like, it might not happen for me in this lifetime.
Toronto was a screw-face capital. There was nobody making it out, and you were one of the small group of people who gave Toronto the reputation of being the place with the most beautiful women in the world.
I've literally had a guy, it literally was a first hang, spend $100,000 on me. I did it, I don't want it. That would be the last thing that I advised a young girl to do, to look at men of means being your saving grace or your safety net.
How would you identify where you're at right now?
My career is thriving right now. My friendship groups are incredible and so fulfilling. I travel a lot. It's the decentering of men. That's really what it is on a large scale.
She said it, I didn't. Decentering men. A phrase that has become very popular in modern relationships and social discussions, especially online in spaces, and at its core, it means women choosing not to make men the central focus of their lives, decisions, or identity. For a long time in many cultures, women were socially conditioned to prioritize men, whether through marriage, through family roles, or social expectations. Decentering men is essentially a reaction to their history. But what does it actually look like in real life? Now, y'all just heard prominent Melissa Ford from Toronto say it loud and clear on a high level. Prioritizing personal goals over relationships. One of the clearest examples of decentering men is when women choose to focus on career, education, personal development, or financial independence, rather than structuring their lives around finding or keeping a partner. In the past, many women were expected to center their future around marriage. Today, many women intentionally flip that idea and say, my life goals come first, a relationship is optional. That shift alone changes the entire dynamic. This is where we are. Emotional independence. Another way this concept shows up through emotional independence is through emotional independence. Traditionally, relationships were often framed around the idea that a partner, usually a man, will provide emotional validation or security. Decentering men means women may look for emotional stability through different means, such as friendships, such as community, such as therapy. That's one that I advocate for, therapy, and self-development, instead of relying heavily on romantic relationships to define their emotional well-being. Why is it that these things seem to only exist in a certain culture as opposed to different cultures throughout the world? You think on that and you let me know how you feel. Or is it widespread? Because from what I see, it's not widespread. Reducing male approval as a measure of value. Historically, many women were judged by how desirable they were to men. This included expectations around appearance, behavior, and lifestyle choices. You follow me? Decentering of men often also means rejecting the idea that male approval determines a woman's value, a woman's worth. For example, some women may say, I'm not dressing, working, or living my life to attract a man. I'm doing this for myself. Now, how true is that? I'm just asking. I create talking points. I refer back to the talking points to try to share information with the viewer. Rethinking dating and marriage. Decentering men can show up in how women approach dating. We are seeing this very clear in the past several years, especially in the past 2025 and 2026. Instead of seeing relationships as a life necessity, some women treat them as one part of life rather than the main goal. What this looked like is delaying marriage, choosing not to marry, having strict relationship standards, and prioritizing independence. And in that sense, relationships become a choice rather than an expectation. Wow. Investing more in female relationships. Another major highlight is strengthening relationships with family, friends, certain colleagues, female colleagues, and other women. Some women intentionally build strong social networks that could possibly provide them with emotional support, a collaboration, and shared experiences. People that identify with similar lifestyles, similar trials and tribulations. And what this does is reduce the idea that a romantic partner has to be the center of someone's social life. This is real. It's real. Because I'm looking at the dating pool and the market and the marriages and the rates, and we seeing what's happening. Changing cultural narratives. This also reflects a broader cultural conversation about gender, roles, and the power dynamics. For many people, decentering men may not be about rejecting the man completely. However, about changing the assumption that everything revolves around male perspectives or expectations. Although we may find certain men to disagree. However, critics argue that the concept can sometimes turn into division, which it has, rather than balance, especially when conversations online frame men as unnecessary or antagonistic. This is where we at. It's a reality. So I'm going to say this. Just by dealing with those talking points, I'm going to say this. From me to you. Is decentering men about independence? Or is it about redefining relationships altogether? Because the real challenge for modern society may not be centering or decentering either gender. The real challenge might be figuring out how men and women can build lives where neither side feel like they are secondary. As challenging as it may be, decentering men. Good idea or the downfall of their romantic relationship. Because you know the robot's coming then.